Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something huge, getting a fully funded PhD scholarship in the UK for 2025.
It's a massive challenge, isn't it? Super competitive.
Absolutely. But, the good news is our sources show there are dozens of these opportunities, full and partial. You just need the right strategy.
Exactly. And that's our mission today, right? To give you that shortcut. We're going to break down the top scholarships, the eligibility bids, the application plan.
And maybe crucially, how to actually manage the money to get it.
Yeah, avoiding those pitfalls. The goal really is to get you clued up fast on these really competitive international funding options.
So first things first, why the UK? What's the big draw?
Well, beyond the global recognition, which definitely boosts your career.
Sir, prestige matters.
It does. But there's a big practical plus time. UK PhDs are often 3, maybe 4 years. That's potentially shorter and therefore cheaper than, say, in North America.
Right, saves time and money. That makes sense.
It's a really attractive setup efficiency plus that academic rigor. But that efficiency also ramps up the competition for funding, especially for international students.
Which means you really have to stand out.
You do. You've got to think of the application almost like an investment pitch, which actually leads us nicely into the big funding sources.
Okay, let's get into it. The top tier, the ones that often cover everything.
Yeah.
Tuition, living costs, the works. We're calling them the strategic 6.
And we're focusing on the key strategic angle for each one. But first, it's really important to understand the range of funding.
It's not all the same.
No, not at all. Some are genuinely a full ride, covering everything. Others are partial. And this is where a critical point comes in about UK fees.
Yes, the fee difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Universities have a lower home fee and then a much, much higher international fee. We're talking £20,000, maybe £35,000 a year sometimes. Easily double or triple the home fee. So a partial scholarship might only cover that difference between the home and international fee. Not your living costs, maybe not even the full tuition at the home rate.
Okay, that's my head spiral. So number 1, Commonwealth PhD Scholarships, funded by the UK government.
Yep, fully funded. But the target group is specific. Students from low and middle income Commonwealth countries.
And the strategic tip.
It's non-negotiable, really. Your research proposal must show very clearly how your work will directly benefit your home country. It's all about development impact and capacity building back home.
Makes sense, given the funding source. Okay, next up, the Gates-Cambridge Scholarship. Legendary status, super competitive for non-UK citizens at Cambridge.
Right. And with Gates, it's about more than just top grades, though you certainly need those.
What else then?
They're looking for leadership potential, a real demonstrated commitment to improving lives, tackling global issues. It goes beyond pure academic interest. They invest in people who they think will make a difference.
People, not just projects. I like that. Okay, number 3, the Clarendon Fund at Oxford. Loads of scholarships, over 150 fully funded each year.
Yeah, it's a big one. And the best part, the process.
How so?
It's automatic consideration. You just apply for your graduate course at Oxford by the deadline, usually in January.
Yeah.
If you're good enough to get an offer from Oxford, your application automatically goes into the pile for Clarendon funding.
That's brilliant. Take some pressure off that specific scholarship application itself.
It does simplify things, yeah. If your main application is strong, you're in the running.
Okay, moving on. Imperial College London PhD Scholarships. Up to 50 spots, often STEM-focused.
That's right, heavily weighted towards science, engineering, medicine. You absolutely need top grades, a first-class degree, or the equivalent.
On the edge.
Emphasize your practical skills. Your proven technical expertise, past research outputs, published papers are great, but even solid internships count. They want researchers who can jump right in on high-impact projects.
Got it. Heading south now, University of Bristol Vice Chancellor's Scholarship, merit-based, relies on supervisor recommendations too.
Yes, those are key. But the crucial tip here is alignment.
Alignment with what?
Your research proposal has to explicitly connect with the university's own strategic research themes. You need to check what those are and frame your project accordingly. They're funding areas they want to build strength in.
So do your homework on the university's priorities.
Absolutely. Don't just send a generic proposal.
Okay. And number 6, Edinburgh Global Research Scholarships. This brings us back to that fee difference thing you mentioned.
Exactly. This one is important to understand. It typically covers only the difference in tuition fees between the home rate and the international rate.
So it doesn't cover living expenses. Or even the full home fee component?
Usually not the living expenses, no. It reduces the international fee burden significantly, but it's not a full ride on its own.
So the strategic tip must be,
Secure other funding, especially for your living costs. If you can show Edinburgh you've already got external funding lined up for your stipend, it makes your application much stronger. It shows you're financially viable and serious.
okay, that's a great map of the big six. But knowing where the money is isn't enough. We
Yeah.
need the how, the application blueprint.
Right. And the first point is timing. Act early. Most of these open around October and close in December or January. Don't wait.
Critical advice.
Yeah.
What's step 2? You mentioned something often overlooked.
Yes, and it's arguably the most impactful step. Contact potential supervisors early.
How early? And what do you send?
Months before the deadline, if possible. Email academics whose work aligns with yours. Send a concise, tailored research idea, just a paragraph or two in your CV.
Why is that so important?
Because a supportive supervisor is gold. They can give you feedback on your proposal before you submit, guide you through the university's specific processes, and actually advocate for your application, including the scholarship part within the department. It's a huge advantage.
Okay, so that supervisor connection is key. What documents do you absolutely need ready for the formal application?
The essentials are your academic transcripts, obviously. 2 or 3 strong academic references. Choose recommenders who know your research potential. Proof of English, like IELTS or TOEFL scores.
And the big one.
The research proposal. This is your core pitch. Detailed, well-structured, convincing.
It's your investment prospectus, as you said earlier.
Exactly. And speaking of things not to do, avoid the common mistakes. Missing deadlines is fatal, obviously. Submitting incomplete applications. But also, don't only focus on these huge scholarships.
What else is there?
Look for smaller departmental bursaries or project-specific funding within your chosen research group. These can often be combined or used to top up partial awards. Don't overlook them.
Right. So we know the steps, the documents. Now, let's get into the real strategy. How do you make your application, especially that proposal, actually win against potentially thousands of others? It's not just grades, is it?
Definitely not just grades at this level. Everyone applying is smart. It's about strategic framing. We looked at what makes applications successful and found 4 key things.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, tailoring. Seriously, generic proposals get spotted immediately. You have to tailor everything, your research questions, your methodology, even the language you use to fit the specific university, the specific department or research center, and the specific scholarship's goals.
Show them you belong there.
Precisely. Show you've done your homework and you're a perfect fit for their investment. Second key is real-world impact.
Like the Commonwealth scholarship example.
Exactly, but it applies more broadly now. Many UK funders, including government bodies like UKRI, prioritize research that has tangible benefits beyond academia. Does it help communities? Does it address national priorities? Does it link to industry needs?
You mentioned a case study, Ananya Rao.
Yes, Ananya Rao. She was working on AI for healthcare diagnostics. Great research, but she got rejected twice. Her initial proposals were probably too focused on the pure computer science, the algorithms. She only secured a full UKRI studentship when she strategically reframed her work.
How did she reframe it?
She explicitly linked her AI research to UKRI's stated national healthcare goals and the government's long-term science strategy. She positioned her PhD not just as interesting AI, but as a solution contributing to a national priority. That shift was crucial.
Wow, that's a powerful lesson. Treat it like a solution, not just a project. Okay, tailoring, real-world impact. What are the other 2?
Third is the fundamental proposal quality. It sounds obvious, but it needs originality. What's new here? Feasibility, can you realistically do this in the time frame, usually 3 to 4 years? And relevance, how does it connect to current debates or knowledge gaps in your field?
It needs to be solid research design.
Absolutely. And fourth, don't neglect your overall academic profile. Your grades matter, yes, but highlight anything extra. Published papers are fantastic, even if they're just conference proceedings. Mention relevant research internships or projects. These things prove you're already functioning as a researcher. Adds real weight.
Okay, that's super helpful on the application itself. Let's
Yeah.
broaden out again. Beyond the big university scholarships like Clarendon or Gates, what about the national funding bodies? UKRI comes up a lot.
Yes, UK Research and Innovation, or INCARI, it's the main public funding agency. They distribute a huge amount of funding for PhDs via studentships.
These cover everything. Tuition, stipend.
Typically, yes. Full tuition fees plus a tax-free annual stipend. Now, Just a small correction on something mentioned earlier, that stipend usually around £19,000, maybe up to £21,000 now. It's annual, not monthly. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes, quite a difference. Annual stipend. And how do you actually get this UKRI money? Do you apply directly to UKRI?
No, that's the key thing. UKRI doesn't usually fund students directly. They allocate block grants to universities, who then manage the funding through specific structures.
Structures like?
Things called doctoral training partnerships, DTPs, or centers for doctoral training, CDTs. These are often consortia of universities focused on specific research areas. So you actually apply to the DTP or CDT, not to UKRI itself. Finding the right DTP or CDT for your field is critical.
Right, so another layer of research needed there. What about funding that comes from outside academia?
Yeah, that's a growing area. Industry-funded projects or joint projects between a university and a company. You see this a lot in fields like engineering, computer science, pharma, green energy.
What's the setup there?
Often it's a studentship funded partly or fully by a company, focused on research relevant to them. It can be good funding, real-world application, potentially even job prospects with the company afterwards.
Okay, lots of avenues. But let's get real for a second. What does the data say about how many people actually get funded?
It's sobering. The latest figures from around 2024 suggest only about 22% of PhD candidates in the UK were fully funded. Another 35% had partial scholarships. So a significant chunk are self-funding or relying on loans.
And there are big differences between subject areas, right? Driven by policy.
Huge differences. The data shows STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, maths, receive something like 60% of the total UKRI funding pot.
60%. Wow. What about humanities and social sciences?
Much less. They get maybe around 20%. It reflects clear government and funding council priorities.
So if you're applying in, say, history or sociology, what does that mean strategically? How do you compete when the pot is smaller and seemingly focused elsewhere?
It means you have to be even smarter about framing your research. You need to pivot.
Pivot how?
You have to move beyond just the theoretical contribution within your discipline. You need to actively demonstrate how your humanities or social science research connects to those broader national priorities.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, maybe your history research sheds light on current policy debates, or your sociology project directly informs strategies for social inclusion or community cohesion. Or your philosophy work engages with the ethics of AI development. That's a huge priority area.
So find the link, even if it's not immediately obvious, to things like AI, sustainability, inclusive education.
Exactly. Find that intersection. That's how you make your project relevant to the current funding landscape and tap into those new funding pools opening up. It's about showing impact beyond the library or the seminar room.
You need to speak their language, essentially.
Precisely. Remember that quote from Professor Louise Richardson?
Yeah.
About scholarships building the intellectual infrastructure that drives global progress? That's the kind of high-level justification funders respond to. Your project needs to fit into that narrative.
Okay, let's imagine someone's navigated all this. They've got the offer, funding secured. Fantastic. But the challenges don't stop there, do they? What happens after acceptance?
No, it's just a different set of challenges. We see 3 common problems crop up quite often once students start.
What's the first one?
Admin delays, especially with funding payments. Stipends arriving late, tuition fees not processed smoothly. It happens.
That sounds stressful. What's the fix?
Proactive communication. Don't wait for things to go wrong. Stay in regular contact with the university finance office, the postgraduate admin team, and the scholarship body if it's external. Keep records. Be persistent, but polite.
Okay, stay on top of the admin. What else?
Research-focused drift. Your project will evolve. That's natural in a PhD. But if it changes so much that it no longer aligns with the proposal you were funded for?
That could be a problem with the funder.
It could, yeah, especially if the funding was tied to specific objectives. The fix here is regular, structured reviews with your supervisor. At least quarterly, look back at the original proposal and discuss how the project is progressing and if any major shifts need a formal acknowledgement or approval.
Keep the supervisor and potentially the funder in the loop.
Yeah.
Smart. And the third issue?
Work-life balance, or rather, the lack of it. PhDs are intense, and when you're funded, there can be pressure, sometimes self-imposed, to be working all the time to justify the stipend.
Leads to burnout.
Absolutely. The solution sounds simple, but is hard to implement. Treat it like a job. Set clear working hours. Schedule breaks. Protect your weekends and holidays. It's a marathon, a multi-year effort, not a sprint you can just power through on caffeine. Boundaries are crucial for long-term success and well-being.
Really important advice. And just before we wrap up, there's a significant long-term benefit for international students, isn't there? Post-study work.
Yes, the graduate route visa. This is a major plus. It allows international students who've completed their PhD in the UK to stay and work or look for work for up to 3 years afterward.
3 years, that's substantial.
It really is. It provides a clear pathway from study into professional life in the UK, which is a big part of the UK's strategy to attract and, crucially, retain global talent. It adds huge value to that UK PhD investment.
Okay, so let's pull all this together. What's the big takeaway for you, the listener, trying to navigate this?
I think the synthesis is this. Success comes from understanding who you're pitching to. Universities see scholarships as investments in future talent. Funding bodies like UKRI or specific sponsors often see them as investments in research that will yield returns, whether economic, social, or intellectual.
So you need to align your ask with their why.
Perfectly put, strategic alignment is everything. And as the data shows, the UK funding landscape is strategic, it is prioritized. Your job isn't just to be brilliant, it's to frame your brilliance in a way that clearly meets those strategic needs. That's true whether you're in AI or archaeology.
Use that case study of Ananya as a model. Connect your passion to a recognized priority. Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. We've seen how UK funding is increasingly channeled into specific areas like AI, green energy, certain health challenges, reflecting national policy. So the question to ponder is, what does it mean for the future shape of global research when national strategies increasingly direct where the world's brightest minds focus their energy?
Yeah, that's a big question about the relationship between policy, funding, and the direction of innovation worldwide. Definitely something worth mulling over.